folks, we are going to stream some more cartography for the upcoming adventure, Crystals of Mabar, which takes place in Eberron. Oops, I'm supposed to have my title, my book cover up, and I just don't. So I'll hide that map for a second and wizzizzle. There you go. You can enjoy this. We built this. We're at episode 136 now. Holy Hannah. Well, this was built back around episode 42-ish, something like that. It was a while ago, so you can check back through the playlist to see us actually building this cover. But we built a slew of maps that go inside this adventure since then, and once those are all completed, we'll start doing creature and NPC token production while we are waiting for the editing to be finished. We'll also then take the entire document and start dropping it into Word to do page layouts, to start breaking up the text and the map images to the pieces of the map to all coincide and fit together throughout the adventure. That is going to be well, I'm going to be learning stuff. I can promise you that during that process. I'm kind of looking forward to it. So let me check my signal here real quick, make sure everything's coming through smooth, and then we'll get to work here for a couple hours. So let's see. I'm on my YouTube channel, clicking live. I'm on my YouTube. Sounds like I'm coming through 5x5. So let me go ahead and go through my intro spiel here real quick with y'all, and then we'll dive into it. So, hey, my name is Phil Kearney. I create role-playing game supplements that I publish online as PDFs. I've been focusing most of my attention on Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition, specifically Eberron as the campaign world for this adventure that we're creating, the Crystals of Mabar, for anywhere from like 6th to 8th level characters, depending on how much of the content you plan on using at your game. And there's actually a slew of books that I've already created that are also published on the DMsGuild. There's links to all those down below. I always make my stuff 100% free previews, so you can read the entire book like you were checking it out at a bookstore to see if it's something that excites you, that you think is cool. There's about 150 unique illustrations in there that you can peruse. If you like my art style, you can see a lot more of it there. If you like the game mechanics and the ideas that I have, like color mana or like spell, like ability check, spell casting, stuff like that. If you think that kind of stuff is cool, then consider making a purchase to support more behavior like that. You can also support me on Twitter at Phil Kearney to find out when I go live. I've just posted that I've gone live there, so if this is how you found me, welcome to the mix. And otherwise, there's also a Patreon link down below where I provide links to playtest content, a couple up-and-coming look-sees like the command system, as well as the martial power system that I stream on Tuesday lunch for mechanical design. Those are living documents that get updated as we go along. And once we actually hire an editor to clean it up and use 5e language, do page layouts, etc., and build it into a PDF, we'll withdraw those documents, and then they'll be online at the DMsGuild.com, 100% free preview as well. So the other way best to support the channel is here on YouTube to like, subscribe, hit the bell icon, help me grow the channel. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers so that I can start getting paid every time I log on and start painting. It's probably the best I could ever hope for. So if you like my stuff, you want to stick around, you show up more than once or twice, considering supporting the channel to encourage more bad behavior. So what kind of bad behavior are we getting into today? We are we're dirtying up stalls in a stable. So we've completed all the trees. And we have our, the word I'm looking for is canopy. Oh, we have our tree canopy here, so you can reveal the limbs and how the characters would move underneath this tree, or if you're flying above the canopy, you can leave those in place. But we have all our canopies completed. We have all of our ground, our grass, stumped down, dusty patchwork ground. we have the line art for all of these completed. And if we drop in our grid, there you go. And we still have crappy hand-drawn numbers, but we'll fix all that in the when we truss this up for page layouts. That's when we'll drop text into these things as part of that layout and dressing process. But so far so good. Here we are with the grid. Like this is literally how the map. You could print this out in black and white, and it's it's easy peasy to use. Very bare minimum. Trying to have as little load on your printer as possible, and these will be available for virtual tabletop Roll20, integrated with one bookshelf OBS. So this is how it would basically appear in your virtual tabletop without the roofs on. Here's an incomplete roof that we may get to work on tonight, but right now we're working on the stable. Here's the roof. No, that's the reference to the stable. Where's my rooftop? Structures. Stable. Roof. There we go. There's our rooftop. Simple A-frame. Very simple. We'll color in the rooftop on that probably when we finish the coloring on the stable. So we'll get to that. We're just not there yet. So right now we're kind of pooping up the stalls a little bit here. So we're going to continue with that effort here now. Some darkness. Oh, I should set a timer so we can stay on track. 20 minutes on the block. That's going to pop every 20 minutes to make sure that I'm not hyper focusing on something that's completely irrelevant. It helps make sure I shake out of any little cul-de-sac or little eddy of of procrastination or pointlessness, which I am prone to do when I get intimidated by my next step. I am enjoying Coke today. And I've got a stack of water here to keep the lifeblood flowing. Let me go ahead and pour a fresh cup. No idea what we're going to talk about tonight. I don't know what we're going to get into. My job right now is simply to push pixels. And if my muse wants to speak for me, or if somebody jumps in, has a topic of conversation that creates some fun tangents, I am all for it. Let me kick up a leg. Get comfortable in my seat. There we go. I'll have at it. All right. Let's see. Let's go grab the same brush that we were using last time, bloop, which is here. Very good. Very good, very good, very good. Very, 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 very good. I'm just going to make a clump like that. We're going to come in here. We're going to smudge it up a little bit. We're going to grab an eraser. We're going to make the eraser the same type of brush that we use to paint all that stuff so we can punch holes in it. I'm going to drop the opacity on it down to 20%. So when I hit the eraser, it's only going to fade it out a little bit. This is how we can do clumpy lump poopy shit in the corners. That's what horses do. They pick a corner and they poop in it. So they don't have to stand in their own filth while they're stuck in a stall. It's just kind of how it flows. Pardon the pun. And our horses, when I was growing up on a ranch, we had stalls that were very similar to this, a sliding shut door. They had a salt lick and a place to pour grain here in the corner next to a bucket of water. And then opposite from that, you can imagine a horse standing like this, drinking and eating here and pooping here. And then they could turn about like this. And if this is a window that's open facing outward, they can poke their head out and neigh at the neighbors or pick at tall grass over here, and otherwise be pretty comfortable. But you want to have these walls separating the horses from each other so they don't get into some sort of crazy hive mind idea about jumping the stable hand while they're there, and raining chaos across the multiverse from there, as nightmares tend to do. But we avoid that by putting walls between them so they don't see each other and hype each other up. Just kind of pulling this, it really was 80%? Yeah. Pulling this grit around just to indicate dirtiness throughout. Like that. There we go. Do some of that, then erase some of that down. We can pull up this stuff too. Just dirty it up. Dirty. Good grit. I like how that looks. Just putting some extra grit here along the wall. Because the floors of these aren't necessarily airtight, so in time weeds and stuff will poke their way through the bottom, the bottoms of the boards, the walls that you build up here. I was very blessed to have horses in my life as a child. It was a rare opportunity that most people these days just don't have a chance to engage with. Of course, I'm incredibly blind, so I never really got to enjoy riding them, but I sure did learn my way around a shit shovel. I tell you what, that and helping manage the paddocks growth by trimming that stuff down was basically my summertime growing up all through high school. I had a pretty farmhand experience growing up. I'd say it certainly set me up to succeed here as an artist because diligent, recurring, hard labor it certainly builds mentality into somebody, and I recognize the wisdom of my father having me grow up in that kind of an environment, and looking back at it all, I appreciate it, but it made a difficult life even just that much more difficult for me growing up, and I don't know if my father really had the cognizant realizing how difficult my life really was. But he did the best he could, I guess, with what tools he had anyway. But I mean, that's just parenting, right? No hate, just... Well, horses are just like basically really big dogs. They are super loving creatures. So I certainly don't begrudge them being in my life at all. And it was cool having a barn and property and some woods to run around in, and it was a good childhood, despite the unusual amount of labor that I had to perform compared to most of the kids I grew up around. Hey Phil, what you got going on? I'll be scooping shit for the next 3 days. Oh, have fun with that. We're going to Six Flags. Later. Dirty that up a little bit more. I know we visited this last time, but it's got better language now on grittiness. I really kind of up the yuck factor here a little bit just to make it grimy. It's going to get really nasty once we have the modified version of the map of after the zombies attack. One of the things, if the team shows up here, either after a foray into the forest looking for the necromancy dungeon, or if that's the kind of plot hook you introduce them to in the storyline from the very beginning, the stables have ghouls in them that are feasting on the dead animals, and the team isn't stealthy about kicking around here or here. They're going to just draw attention of the ghouls, and they'll come running out of the stables and start attacking the team, and they'll be like, this place is worse off than I guess we expected. It's like a little bit of combat just to throw you into a point of interest. so we'll be able to add large patches of blood as some of our color when we modify this. We'll just basically just be able to come in here and just, you know, just dump swaths of bluff, just giant bloody piles wherever horses should be. That'll be, well, I expect a call from PETA. We'll deal with that when we get to it, I guess. Sort that out, and then erase this down real good. But again, it's the outer wall. There. Just want to kind of muck it up a little bit. Turn that down. We'll have to build color for the walls eventually. We're just not there yet. But hey, we're mucking this place up pretty good. So let's do this and same as it ever was. I'll just blotch this in like that. Get a base color going in here, I think. Wrong layer, Kearney. So yeah, let's start filling. Let's take this back. Yes, to where it's supposed to be. Get back, Loretta. Just gonna muck up and color the floor. Like that, just. Indicating pathways here. That's all we're really doing. Path of travel. And since it's on a layer underneath the filth we just made, once we start blending it in, it'll just reinforce the overall environment. Like that. I don't want to be super. I mean, I don't want to just form fill the whole thing, right? I want discoloration. I want these bare patches in here just for color, like sawdust. There would be a lot of sawdust being provided to us from the sawmill here, which makes sense to have it dump down here into the stalls to help make it easier to sop up the piss and clump the manure for easier shoveling. Hay is more absorbent, obviously, and it can keep the floor more clean, but it also requires a lot more crop rotation. We always just used sawdust and wood chips. Was really good about absorbing up the pee as well. So you clean the stall. You clean the stall for 2 days, and on the third day you swap out the sawdust. So you have to scrape out whatever it's kind of like just a massive kitty litter box. If you've ever messed around with cats and you have kitty litter boxes, you're gonna know basically how handling a stable is like. It's the same process, just ridiculously large. And instead of having a hand scoop, you have a really big shovel. I was so mad at my dad for having to do all this work that once I started making money on my own, I bought him a shovel for Christmas. And he's like, does this mean that you're going to start shoveling the paddock without complaining? And I said no. God, he made me so angry. That was a dick of a kid. Just a jerk. I was such a passive-aggressive, sarcastic punk. I'm just going to let this stuff fade out and blend into the ground overall around us. I tried using the shovel that I bought him. It was a really big plastic deep scoop type, like a snow shovel, and it did not handle the paddock well at all. It was better left as a sarcastic message than a legitimate effort to do a better job, because I threw it away after 2 uses. I just couldn't get it clean. It's just the plastic got sullied immediately. It was such a I kind of owned myself in that process. That was really funny looking back at it. God, I was such an angry kid. So funny. Yeah, all right. That looks pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm going to actually clump that corner I'm going to clump these corners a little bit more, just to, now that we have more stuff going on in the ground in general. I'm going to actually drop the opacity on the ground a little bit. Something like that. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I just need to put in like a dark green or something to make these walls separate. Actually, I think that might be where we're at right now. So we got floor, 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 floor. We can floor. Let's check our reference. Oh, conceal that grid. We don't need it right now. There we go. It feels like metal. Yeah, it's got a bluish tinge to it. That's just metal. That's metal. There. There we go. That's a good color. Even better. Oops. Yeah, there we go. Hitching posts. That's what those are. Hey, 20-minute timer. Keep it rolling. Take another sip of water. Cheers. Whew, woof, these things are far from perfect. Woof. A lot of assets stacked up here. Very good. Get your feet back home. You can probably use like a lighter color for the window frames. I could probably just hit the fill button and make that all just a click, but again, I like to do it manually. I am my own fill button. Get it? That's the color I think I'm looking for. Yeah. They call them dad jokes because, you know, they're stupid puns that dads make. But my mom gained a real appreciation for puns in her 40s when I was growing up. And I now have a much deeper appreciation for puns myself. I think they're called dad jokes because, not because you're dad, but most people are dads at that age. So you expect it from a dad, thus being a dad joke. But I think it's just an old joke. I think that's just what puns are old people jokes. And by the time you realize that you think they're funny, that's when you realize that you're old. So cheers to that, yo. Use that same lighter color for the railing and the stall door. Very good, very good, very good. Very good. Let's go find ourselves some art or image reference. Water trough. Hopefully we can find one that has something in it. There we go. Hey, Powder River. Aye? Oh, good. It's got color. Let's see what we can find here in the water. In the water. We'll go with that. Not the best. Sippy, sippy, thirsty horse. Yeah, buddy. Meh. Drop this in here. Let's do this like 500 more times, like it makes a big difference. This is the sort of activity that I have my clock for, to make sure I don't get lost in smudging water in a water trough for 90 minutes. There we go. Nothing too crazy or dramatic here, just some blue. We'll fill it up with black crystals when the after the undead attack to make it putrescent water. You can't drink that water. There we go. It's my favorite song. Not really. This is not my favorite song. Hey, mashed potatoes. Aye. Let me go down to here. I'm pretty happy with that, I think. This is rando stuff. Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm A-okay with that. Morge. You like this music? This one's for the yo-ho-ho strippers out there. So we're going to be back on tomorrow morning, and we're going to stream some more Spelljammer character token art. If you're enjoying this Eberron stream, you should check out the Spelljammer playlist, because we're going to be doing that same NPC token process for like villagers here in town, the sheriff, the mayor, the soldier, The Red Wolf mercenaries, the necromancers, the undead, the plant and demon creatures. All that yibble yabble. We're going to do all of them here as tokens as well to include with these map assets for when you actually want to play this adventure. And hopefully you actually want to play this adventure because I think you're going to really enjoy it. I'm going to grab... Do tell, huh? Yeah, I can get behind that. Tap, tap, tap. Take another sip. I'm gonna finish off my kooky cola. Get some battery acid in my veins. Immediately regret that decision. Yeah, remember how I was talking about that I have that timer so I don't dive too deep into a specific small topic? Well, this would be that small little non-consequential detail that I end up diving way too much attention into because I'm procrastinating my next step. So this is it in living color. Enjoy. Oh, well, turns out this was a necessary process. Oops. That's one. Hey, sarsaparilla. Aye. Now I have Trevor something in my head. That's a really fun modern retro band. Trevor something. Really cool. I can't remember the name of hardly any of this. Like there's a few different future retro bands. Gunship, Trevor something, Mr. Kitty, and was it Nightwave? I think is the other. There's a slew of good synthwave, like retro 80 clone type music bands that just do really just chillax music. Can't play any of it because of copyright strikes, but I do enjoy it. I don't know. Maybe they're hanging out on Spotify someplace. I can use that. If I can get, man, if I could play Mr. Kitty and not get a copyright strike, that'd be freaking great. I love his music. I was listening to Mr. Mister earlier today. Mr. Mister's got good music. I didn't really pick up on how Christian of a band they were for a mainstream 80s, pop band, but it's very there in the lyrics. That doesn't make or break an artist for me in particular, but they did a good job. And all their music's super cool. Ooh. Just like that. Nope, that's a text layer. I don't need text right now. There we go. And we'll drop the opacity on this down so it fades into the mess a little bit more. And then last layer. Fade that in a little bit like that. Do that. Oh. No. Yeah, this is like a minute, pointless detail, but for some reason I'm compelled to do it. I don't think it's procrastination, specifically. There's a skill set in here that I need to acquire that I'm getting some practice on. Not sure specifically why. I'm sure it'll make sense in a couple weeks. Maybe even tomorrow. Speaking of tomorrow, I'll be back in the morning working on more Spelljammer tokens. Saturday in the morning, we'll be continuing production of the book cover for Joseph Vargas's Ukulele Bard's upcoming role-playing game, Reclement, where nature strikes back against humanity during the Industrial Revolution, as nature rises up and smacks humanity down for starting to pollute the planet. Yggdrasil rises from the earth and dominates the skyline. And like spirits and nature creatures and stuff start to, like an Industrial Revolution shadow run is probably a good way of. It seems to be like the initial elevator pitch that I get off of what he's told me about it so far, which I think is cool. Do that. I don't think FOSSA has made a medieval or earlier generation Shadowrun type game. I mean, it's future. It's cyberpunk with magic, basically, is what Shadowrun is. So, them building it a setting in an earlier era probably doesn't really jive with the brand identity at all. But I think it's cool thematically. If you watched The Nevers, it was a Joss Whedon show. It had Claudia Black in it. It was during the Industrial Revolution in Britain. But it was also a magic setting that there was innate like different people would have innate magic, and it wasn't always obvious, and it wasn't outright criminal to have those abilities, but if you were found to have I forget what they call them, not powers or whatever, but they had a title for it. But if you're gifted, you'd be at the top of their shit list of potential troublemakers because, mutants. I don't think that's getting another season. It's been like, I think it's been a year now already since the first season came out, so I don't believe it's getting another season, which is a shame. I like Claudia Black working. When she's in something, I'm happy. Arr. Me thinks good enough. Har. One more little Passover. I know the alarm's going to bark at me for spending way too much time on this pointless task, but so much of this project's been involved with water. I did not expect that when I began it. Sure. We'll finish our thought here and then we'll move along. There we go. See, I told you, you'd be barking at me. I know. But hey, if it's any consolation, I'm enjoying the effort. Only a dream away. Oh, God, what a pain in the ass. I don't know if I want to keep going on this. All right, well, I began it. I should finish it. Screaming, sending, singing, that's all right to say. Only a dream away. Only a dream away. I love George Harrison. Sorry, ramble on, sing my song. Around the world, see my girl. There was a TV show, it was called Otherworld. It was like, I want to say it was like 1987, something like that. That feels about right. Anyway, it was about a family that, it was live action. It was primetime television. It was action adventure 80s style. Came on after after Manimal or Airwolf. I don't remember which. Anyway, it was a show about a family, mom, dad, 3 kids. And they went to a trip. They went on a family vacation to Egypt to visit the Great Pyramids, and some sort of crazy astronomical alignment occurred, and it opened up a portal to another dimension, which they fell through into an alternate Earth that is called Otherworld, or at least they called it that. Hence the title of the show, Otherworld. So they didn't actually call it Otherworld. It was just the other world. They just called it Earth themselves, but cheers. Anyway, completely different timeline. Very dystopian, fascist societies all at war with each other. It's like these little city-states. But the point of the story is that none of the music that the kids grew up on existed in the world. And so they became a band, and they just covered all the songs that they could remember, and like they were playing Beatles songs and Who and Led Zeppelin, just all these songs, like songs that you could just sing offhand, and they just kind of made up the beat to it. So they got into being ridiculously rich pop stars for a while. Then they started to attract attention from nefarious forces that suspected they were from another dimension, and they wanted to interrogate them. So they ended up having to bail and run for cover and be on the lam. But it was fun. It was the first time I think I was like 12 when I saw that, and it was the first time I'd seen anything like a show, movie, TV, anything. It was the first experience I had of people being sent to another dimension and then using their memory of things that don't exist anymore, or that don't exist there, to make money and stuff. I thought it was great. It's kind of tropey now. I honestly don't know what other shows or intellectual properties have actually leaned into that concept, but it feels like such an obvious thing to do now. Like it's tropey. It feels tropey now, but I'm having a hard time remembering any TV shows in, like, say, the past 30 years. This is just say 30 years. Otherworld was like 35 years ago. So in the past 30 years, what other TV shows or movies have exploited knowing music from another dimension to create pop hits, as a means of gaining wealth in an alternate world? I'm sure, like, when they actively knew they were doing it, it wasn't like a parody. Like the show wasn't fourth wall breaking by using for example the Westworld on HBO, for example, the automatic, the self-playing piano would play like Metallica and stuff like that, but in an old saloon style of music, which isn't the same thing at all. It's like, actively, I'm in another dimension. I know I'm in another dimension. I need to make money. I'm now going to perform greatest hits from my world and make an income off of it. There has to be other shows that did that. And I feel like I've seen them, and I'm like, oh yeah, the first time I saw that was in Otherworld. But I can't, for the life of me, I can't think of any. If you can think of any, drop in comments down below. Let me know what I'm thinking about, because I swear I'm not crazy. Like, Farscape would make Earth references all the time, but he was an action hero. He wasn't a musician. He wasn't stealing other people's music. There was that movie where suddenly everybody forgot who the Beatles were. I guess that's kind of the same. I can't remember the name of that movie, but I wonder if that's the only one. And that's kind of not as much. That's like you're in the same dimension. It's just suddenly everyone forgets who the Beatles were. So it's kind of the same premise, in that you're reintroducing the world to this music, but it wasn't exploitive by nature. Anyway, I don't know. Let me know below if you've ran across any other shows that are like that. It's a great premise. I love it. I like how that looks, though. I think this is worth the time spent. I think I need to wash my hair tonight. It's bugging me a lot. It feels oily. So, good indication. Time for me to take a shampoo the hair. My neighbors are hanging out on the porch getting drunk. I think that's great. I love my neighborhood. It's a great mix of young kids, young families, teenagers, college-age kids. It's a really great community. A lot of different type of upbringing, cultural differences coming together in our community here. It's really cool. Chirom. There we go. Boop, boop, boop. Let's drop the fade. Like that? How about like that? Or that? Okay, at that point it's pointless. Fairly pointless at this point. No difference. Significant? Very much. So here, let's see, sharper or less? Less feels like more right now. Let's do that. That tells me I can merge all this down. Merge! Don't do it, no! Merge! Oh no! So what happens if I do that and then drop this down like that? That looks pretty good. All right, we'll do that. And then, ooh. Let's go with window. Tools. Tools. Circle. God, those line up so perfectly. Not bad, Kearney. You know your tools. Cheers. How that lines up. That's so cool. Just like that. Nice. Love it. On point. Merge. So I just merged all the water together. I'm good with that. Right, so where are we at? Let's go. Let's go back to our reference. Water, walls, you can actually add this to the wall there. Let's go back into our references here. Make it timely timer. How are we sitting? Okay, still got 40-ish minutes we can process. Let's do that. Nope. Purple. Interesting. Interesting. All right, we'll just do that then. Uh-oh. Just locked up. Gotta hit save. Gotta close it. Gotta open it up again. There we go. Take a sip. Wait for that monster to load up. Zoom. Right. Good. Hey, that works out. There we go. Yum, yum, yum. Ow. All right, so there's some cleanup to do around here. That's okay. Buckets. Buckets. Little wooden buckets. Scene on the city tonight, looking to you, the start of the fight. There's an evil feeling in our brain, and it's talking to you. It's going to drive us insane. Gonna run in. While we hiding, you will be dying 1,000 deaths. Running while we hiding, you will be dying 1,000 deaths. What the fuck? Oh, yeah. Bucket. Like, what is that thing? Dumbass. Well, that's a handy little thing. Water, walls, rando. I recognize these are pretty choppy. I need to fix this stuff, but let's just do some big. Let's just work on a big picture right now, shan't we? Yeah, do like that. Puppy says bark. All right. We'll do like that. Let's mute that a little bit. Let's go something like that. A little more like that. Here we go. Good. Very good, very good, very good. Saddles. Okay. Any more random garbage in here? No. Wow. Okay. So let's go. No, I wanna go find. Let's go find sacks of grain. Should give us a burlap sack. That's what I'm looking for. Danku. Copy image. Ref. Rough. So we'll be able to pick these up and use them up in the storage, storage barn. Is that what we call them? Barn, storehouse. Thank you. Put the target in the center of the crosshairs and pull the trigger. Put the target in the center of the crosshairs and pull the trigger. Put the target in the center of the crosshairs and pull the trigger. Shinji, get back to work. So far, so good. Ooh, I like that rough texture too. That's good. Freaking Otherworld. Man, I haven't thought about that show in a couple years at least. It pops up every now and again. And I enjoyed that a lot. It was fun. 80s had all sorts of goofball adventure TV shows. was, I mean, you know, it was probably level quality akin to, say, Warrior Nun, like the Seeker. Those were fun shows too. I really enjoyed Blood and Shadow. That was a cool. The second season of Blood and Shadow, focusing more on the crows. That was I appreciated that. The main characters are pretty boring, but the side rogues, they were super fun. Very much could have a show all about them on their own, no problem. I doubt they will. I think they all resolve their storylines, but a lot of potential there. There. Sacks of grain. We're going to drop the opacity on a bit. There. It's not bad. Not bad at all. Let me get into the same thing. Over here. Like that. Like that. There. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Now let's oh, we have sax, and then we got hay, straw, haw, stray, whatever. Wheeling dealing, nothing's dealing, that's alright today. Only a dream away. Now we got straw. No, hey. Burr, burr, burr. Like 10 minutes left. We'll bounce out of here for the day. Merge those down and then pick up something else. Let's try that. Says the puppy upstairs. There. Straw. I'm gonna... Let's push that one up. A little bit more like yellowish, right? Now we need super specific stuff. We need some metal bits. So let's go find. We can finish the interior of this barn in the next 10 minutes before I cut out for the night. Let's go with. Hey, it's a shovel. Perfect. Shovel up. Shovel it to damn and I'll shovel. Shovel up, shovel up. Yeehaw. Shovel up. Jump, 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 shovel up. Stupid shit there, Kearney. Whatever, dude. Oh, this is my belly. Okay. Oh, beep, 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 and I can. We go with metal. I'll go with hay. Oh boy. How are we gonna do this? Never an issue getting horses into a stall if you put like alfalfa or grains of any sort. You like give them a handful in their muzzle, and then show them that there's a whole trough of it over here for them. They domesticated horses that weren't jerks were like, oh yeah, I'm on board with this food train idea. This is great. And you let them just graze all day on the field grass, and you keep the really good stuff for when they stay indoors and be good. Like I said, they're just like dogs, man. They do whatever dogs do. They're just really big. It's like, don't let them climb in bed with you or nothing. But they would if you'd let them. Just leave that one empty for reference. There you go. And the next thing that we need is a salt lick. Salt lick barbecue. Bum, bum. No, just give me a salt lick. There's one. Horses love salt licks. It's like crack. Can't get enough of that salt lick crack. DML. Can't get enough of that bum salt lick crack. Yeah. Just had a big lump, just like a cone of just salt, and you just like put it on you'd stab it onto a peg, and it would just stay there, and you just leave it be there until the peg showed through, and then you toss it out, just basically crush it up and dump it out on the driveway during wintertime, and just put a fresh one down. Stabbing a fresh one onto the peg and wait for next year. Now, basically, it'd take a year for them to go through a salt lick, so you could cycle through one each winter time. Love salt licks. A big old working lump of salt. That is just gonna keep this place fed forever. Love it. Love it, love it. There. Hey, Dream. How you doing, my guy? Did you? Hell yeah. Congratulations, man. There's my timer. All right, I'm pretty much done. I'm just doing some salt licks here, and then we'll be done with the interior space for the stables. So when we come back next time, we can put a roof on this guy and then start in on the next one. Now that we have language established for straw and sacks of grain, this is like going over here into the storage building will be really easy. So, and this is a super simple roof. It's just an A-frame, so it's hardly difficult. Yeah, so far so good. Thanks for the compliment, man. Are you guys retiring those characters out of Strahd? Are you extending them into another campaign, or are you going to start homebrewing into different domains of dread while you're there in Ravenloft? Or did you escape and you can go play in other campaigns now? Oh, really? Neat. I haven't played Adventure League since 4th edition. I don't think it was called that back then. I don't remember what it was called, but... One of my friends just started a Curse of Strahd campaign. I've never actually played Curse of Strahd, so I got invited into that. We're all playing Devil Hunters. We're all children of the same mother, who apparently would wheel and deal with any demons that she could to gain more power, and had a ton of kids as a result of it. And we all discovered each other through fate and mischief, and decided to bond together in equal remorse for who our family were. We were all like raised in different cults, but they all had the same theme to it: breed kids for sacrifice, and we escaped. So we all have this real melancholy, similar background together, and none of us expect to live. But the mother was, let's say, she was prolific. So whenever a character dies, we've already preset as part of our session 0 that death is perfectly fine. We have no intention of longevity for our characters. If they die, the replacement character is going to be another sibling, so that the team immediately recognizes, acknowledges, and trusts who the new character is. So we can just keep punching through family members throughout the entire campaign, and so it's just a matter of how many of them are killed in the process. So it's promised me to be a lot of fun. It was so funny. We were short like 15 gold pieces for our fighter to buy the kind of armor that she wanted. So she's like, hey, if we had like a sponsor like L'Oreal or something, I don't know. She's like, just throw out the name. And she's like, if we had a sponsor, could I get an extra 15 gold pieces so I could buy this equipment? And he's like, sure. So we're at the end of our session 0, and we decided, we still had like 20 minutes left of the session, and we're playing on Discord. So we had a 20 minutes left of the session left that we had assigned for our block of time to play, right? So session 0, we resolved our characters. We all have our backstories. We all know how we work with each other. We're all happy with what's going on. We had 20 minutes left over. Let's BS. So he drops us into the, I guess, the starting bar or whatever, tavern it is that you start in. And we're, basically shooting the shit with each other, and is basically building rapport and character. And he used the same token for all the men and women, so they all had like this very samey look to them. So we're looking around and we're like, well, wait a second, that guy looks different. What's he all about? And so he's like, yeah, it's a merchant, blah blah blah. And he'd get up and walk over to him, and I say, good sir merchant, what are your wares? And he says, well, I mostly supply. Or what type of merchanting do you do? And he's like, I mostly supply different hotels and lodges along the trade route here to make sure they have sundries and stuff. I'm like, oh really? What kind of soap do you sell? And he's like, lye, I guess, whatever, why? And then I go into a pitch about L'Oreal having different flavored soaps and hand lotions that will please all the patrons of all the guests of all the hostels that stay by, and he'll be able to, lock in better business than before. So basically I had to sales pitch L'Oreal because they were our sponsor, right? So we have to so we've all decided now that we're going to roll initiative at some point, and whoever rolls lowest is going to have to do a sales pitch. So we have a random table for different things, different sundries that can be sold by a merchant. And so we're going to randomly choose who has to do a sales pitch and what it is that they have to pitch that time. And that's our group Warlock patron that demands we pay service for the 15 gold pieces that we were given. So we've locked ourselves into having to. We're looking forward to rolling up on boss fights and dropping product pitches on them while we're fighting. It's going to be. We suspect it's going to be freaking fun. I'm not good at role playing, like actual role playing, but I'm excellent at building, like at shenanigans. It was silly. It was just raw silliness, but it was great. It was really, really great for the team to bond. Like we're all super excited, just to cause trouble in the world now. I mean, Strahd be damned. We don't care how many times we die. We just want to pitch L'Oreal products at inconvenient times during the campaign, just to throw the campaign off kilter a little bit. It'll probably be a lot of fun. We'll see. Text in the corner. What? Oh, fun! Right on. Tyranny of Dragon. That's great. I'm not too great with RPing except PvP. Yeah. So I mostly run dungeon crawls. I love dungeon crawls. Are great, man. That is the root of the whole game. Dungeon crawls is a great skill to be able to accumulate and own over the years, because dungeon crawls are just, oh god, they're so fun. Just the meat and potatoes of D&D. Freaking great. All right, I think this is done. Got our water here in the trough. Some basic walls here. Doors open, close. There's some slop here and there, but I think I'm mostly okay with it. Yeah. Stables there, and then we'll go into the B-dub structure. Roof. So we'll put the... Ooh, wait. Meow. Oh, yeah. Okay, well that's good to know. Let's see. Top colors. Yeesh, I might not want to sustain that. That's real inconvenient. Let's go to roofs. Stables. Yeah, we'll swap these out before we close down for the night. Comfortable. Stuff. Roof. There we go. Constable. I know I'm missing text. Hey, I had people drop out of my game because I was struggling with the RP section. I realized my strength in dungeon crawls and combat. Hey man, know your strengths. You can slowly build in to adding more and more narrative and role-playing pieces as you go. You know, you can always add more context and conversations to a dungeon. Roof, roof, roof. Roof. Roof, 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 roof. Roof, 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 roof. Just you. roof. Let's go. What is it? Commons, stable, smithy, mill, storage. I see text over there. Give me a hot sec. Lumber. That's just a lean on. Yeah, that's all. And the fence doesn't have one. So there we go. BW roofs. Color roofs. That is not proper English. Color roofs. There. Save. Hope and play Tyranny because we realize Sunday's Father's Day, but who cares about? I mean, if you don't have a father, it doesn't really matter. Yep, all going to have roofs. Yeah. In Roll20, you just make them separate layers. I'm sure Foundry works the same way. You just have one layer, like this is the This is the roof layer technically. Technically, this is a roof layer as well. All the tree canopies come off. So the canopies are a roof, and then all the these will all be color roofs as well. Yeah, you build them as separate. You build them as separate sheets, so they're separate icons. So when you lay out the map, you can then just drop all the roofs on, and you can pick them up and as separate objects. You can pick them up and drop them back down as as needed. When somebody walks into a building, you make the roof disappear, so it opens up like a top down overhead, like a top down game on the computer. It works the same way. And technically, each of these trees have their own layer as well. Like, see that one, you can get rid of that one separately. So they're separate tokens. So you have the whole playmat itself, which is the basic map. I mean, this is probably obvious. I'm just over pontificating, I'm sure. But you have the overall map with the overhead shot as it is, and then as you start going in, like if you wanted to run over and hide underneath this tree, then you can open up the canopy so they can stand under it so you can see where they are. But like if I'm on the rooftop here looking at stuff, I wouldn't necessarily see anybody that's underneath the canopies of the trees. So I could have like zombies approach from this direction, and then they could pop out of the forest over here. And if you're up here, you wouldn't see them until they actually emerge out from underneath the canopies. So, and, you can go into each room and open them up. Bob's your uncle. Bob is your uncle. Grass ground. Canopy, grass ground. We're going to call this ground colors. Tree canopy. Technically, the tree canopy should be up with the roofs. So we'll do that. Like that. What? Why did that go wrong? Oh, because of the black and white layer here. That's right, because the trees are technically on these black and white trees are technically on a layer higher than the tree canopy. Okay, I'll leave the canopy as it is. Fine. You convinced me. It's a little bit of stacking issue going on inside the document, but once we sort it out into separate assets, it'll be fine. Or do I just want to leave it like that? It looks pretty good. Could just leave it like that, and then you don't see the actual trees until you get underneath them. Poink. Derp. Yeah, we can do it like that. Derp. True canopy. Hell, I could probably even drop the opacity on these a little bit. Could do that. Nah, I don't think I want to. Screw you. No. I think I'm done for the day. Yeah, we're at 9:15. I'll just catch up on notes. I'm going to bounce. Oh, interesting. Right on. PNGs. Okay, I'll make them as PNGs. Do they have to be PNGs or can they be JPEGs? It probably doesn't really actually matter. PNGs. Oh, actually, yeah. PNGs deal with transparency, so I'm going to have to build them as PNGs anyway. That's right. Yeah, so never mind. Yeah. Exactly. Well, right, because I imagine what they get imported as squares. Is that how that does? Like I'd have to offer it as like, can I do exactsies like this? Or actually, because it's weird like that, Roll20 would have an issue with it as well. So I would actually have to build this out as like a like this. Like that would be the cutout, and then this would all be transparency around the edges. That way it would be able to fit onto the building properly. And then, am I right about that? Is that how it works? I think that's how Roll20 works. And then with this, blah, what a mess. But this would basically be like this. Roll20 lets you rotate objects, but it'd probably be much more convenient just to do it like this. Yeah. Just hit me some screenshots or drop me into a share screen in Discord at some point whenever it comes around. It's going to be a couple of months before I'm going to need to bother with it. I'm hoping this is going to be done in November. That is a big fucking ask, but it is what I will attempt to do. Anyway, Dunzo for now. We're gonna put a roof on the stable for next week. That way we're officially done with the stable, and then we can move on to, I don't know, we'll probably go to the commons. That's probably what we'll end up doing. Anyway, that's it for the day. I gotta bounce. I'll be back on tomorrow morning again as usual, and working on, I don't know, whichever token. We only have a dozen tokens left for the Latizaraxis character, NPCs and creatures that are in the Latizaraxis adventure. So we're gonna keep working on that. Then Saturday we're gonna work on the Reclamant book cover in the morning, and then I'll be out for the weekend. Monday I have off. It's a holiday. So I will be on Monday morning as usual doing token art, but I don't have a 2-hour limit. So I could potentially, I can work as long as I want, and God willing, we'll make good progress, and it'll be fun to work through that stuff. And then Monday night, we'll still be doing more Eberron cartography just like this, working on the rooftop I was just saying. And then Tuesday I'm on vacation. Wednesday I'm on vacation. Thursday I am on vacation. So I'll be on Tuesday, Wednesday mornings, Tuesday, Wednesday afternoon. I'll be on Thursday morning. And then Tuesday I have martial powers, so I'll do that still. Thursday night, flying out of town. So I'll be gone. So no Eberron Thursday night. I'll probably just do it in the afternoon instead. No Friday, no Saturday next week. Tomorrow, yes. And then I'll be back in the saddle on Tuesday. But I have Tuesday off next week. So I'll be able to have Martial Powers. We'll have breakfast stream, Martial Powers, and I can also do Tuesday afternoon as well. So I can potentially get a crap ton of artwork, probably mostly Light of Zoraxis stuff. Hopefully I can have all that stuff done in the week that I get back from vacation. I'm still working on the layouts for the Light of Zoraxis conversion, figuring out how to make all this stuff properly fit. Like I've gotten the first section done, the first part, Seeds of Destruction. This is the amount of space that I need for the ship and weapons, as well as the crew and the roles that the crew plays on there. I'm still working on the font specifically, like this is 10-point black Roboto font. I don't know if I want to keep using that or not, but I've got a common formatting here that I'm figuring out for the come back here for the where'd my mouse go? Thank you for the text. So I'm in the process, and then we have the actual attack sequence and the replacement text because new system. And then we have an option for increasing the challenge in case the team just absolutely kicks the crap out of the single Star Moth. And then here's the crew for the Dark Star, which is the Star Moth. Again, you got the ship itself, and then the weapon systems that it uses, and then the pilot, the Siege Commander Captain, and then the support and Siege Commanders underneath it. If the characters succeed, if the characters are defeated, what do you do about that crap? We figured out we don't have to change anything in Lucent Edict, the Nautiloid salvage adventure mission, but right now we're working on the Neogi Raiders that ambush you after you finish with the Nautiloid dungeon delve. And right now where we're at is in part 2 now, and we are figuring out the sequencing in a separate document here where I can tear it apart and put it back together again. But the way that we have it, I'll need to spend some time, like when we actually start building this out, I'll spend some time walking through it, like how it works. And hopefully I do a good job actually spelling all that out here in text. But organizing this shit is a challenge, man. This is the most difficult layout work I've ever attempted. Adventures are fucking tough, man. I'm glad that I'm cutting my teeth on Light of Zoraxis. It's a modest 25-page romp in comparison to the Eberron adventure that we're currently creating. This thing's probably going to be like 115 pages when it's done. It's going to be fucking huge, but it'll be fun. So anyway, I'm rambling just because I like to talk. Hey guys. Yeah, so that's it. I'm done. I will see you guys on the other side. If you're new to the channel, I'm here a lot. So if you're digging this stuff, like, subscribe, follow me on Twitter to get notifications when I'm live. Check out my books down below if you want to support me on Patreon. I have a slew of stuff that is in the works, like the mass combat mechanics, the guild mechanics, the kingdom mechanics, as well as the martial power system. Those are all read-only documents right now that are available for free in the About section. It's just in the notes. So you guys can check that out, ask me questions there if you want. If you want to follow me, you're certainly welcome to. But I'll be back in probably in about 9 hours. Yeah, probably back in about 9 hours. So I'm out. See you guys on the other side.